But I want to go back to 2015 when a certain Barrack Hussein Obama, right after the violence in Ferguson, Missouri, when blacks rioted, the violence in Ferguson, Missouri, listen to who Obama blamed in '01.
Since Ferguson and the task force that we put together, we have seen too many instances of what appears to be police officers interacting with individuals, primarily African American, often poor, in ways that raise troubling questions.
And you don't judge the fight on one round. Even if we get knocked down, we get up and go to the corner and come out fighting the next round. You won the first round, Mr. Prosecutor, but don't cut your gloves off, because the fight's not over. Justice will come to Ferguson.
Our police officers cannot be and cannot be seen as an occupying force disconnected to the communities that they serve.
I'm looking for 10,000 in the midst of the million. 10,000 fearless men who say death is sweeter than continued life under tyranny. Death is sweeter than to continue to live and bury our children.
What parents have done for decades who have children of color, especially young men of color, is train them to be very careful when they have a connection with a police officer, when they have an encounter with a police officer.
We cannot just
Deblasio.
go from episode to episode, city to city. There must be a national response. The federal government must come in and intervene on the issues of criminal justice and policing.
Then we must rise up and kill those who kill us. Stalk them and kill them and let them feel the pain of death that we are feeling.
When anybody in this country is not being treated equally under the law, that's a problem. And it's my job as president to help solve it.
I saw this coming. I tried to warn you. I wrote Stop the Coming Civil War. I wrote Government Zero. I wrote Trump's War. It is time for the federal government to step in and arrest the leaders of all of these left-wing groups that are violent. They have been violent. They've been violent since Obama was in office, and they're getting increasingly violent by the day because no one has stopped them. There has been no consequences to them. And you begin by using RICO statutes and take down their funding. Arrest all those who fund these organizations. It's one thing to fund a group that has an opinion you may not agree with. It's another thing to fund groups that are known to cause violence, especially groups that cross state lines to cause violence. How many occasions on this program, The Savage Nation, have I told you that there are federal laws written about this exact issue? They were written in the 1960s during the last great era of violence in this country. They were written specifically to have arrested those who cross state lines to promote violence. There are federal laws against this. There are those who cross state lines, probably on both sides, who should be investigated, as should their funding, because they went there for violence. Now, you can blame anyone you like. It depends upon which side you're on. You blame the other side. But the greatest share of blame should go to the police department in that city of Charlottesville. They funneled the white nationalists out of the park through a gauntlet of hatred, bricks, urine, feces, flamethrowers, in order to provoke them into violence. It is the Charlottesville police captain who just gave a little speech to the world, who he himself should be investigated for failure and negligence of his duties as a police chief. This does not condone any of the behavior on either part of violence. I believe in dialogue.